So the first thing before we even hike to the top of the cliff to set up the top rope is we're gonna wanna locate the line that we want to set up. So we're gonna look here. In this case, we're gonna set up the line right up the center. It's a WI5 right in the center of the wall. And I'm gonna look down here to see if there's things that I can locate from the top to help me put the line in the right spot. So another good way to do it is you can have a friend with a walkie-talkie or have a friend down here kind of guide you. We're gonna get geared up. I've got my crampons on, my harness on. We need a 60-meter static line. Lake City, the longer the better. And then a 70-meter rope. For Lake City, most climbs will require about a 70-meter rope. There are some that, are shorter on the sides, but for the most part, 70-meter rope is gonna do the job. Other gear that I might want, gree is always nice to have, a couple quick draws, maybe 3 to 4 locking carabiners, a couple ice screws as directionals, and then possibly a 20-foot long cord. So at this point, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hike to the top of the cliff. There's a little trail on the left side. Here we are at the top of the cliff, and what we can use to anchor ourselves at the top of the cliff are two things. We've got trees around us, and we also have these metal posts over here. So if you look here, these are metal posts deep into the ground with concrete. So that's going to be another way we can anchor. Another way, of course, is using ice screws. So first I'm going to look around for a monolithic anchor. So I'm going to go ahead and use that tree over there, and I'm going to use that to locate the top of my climb and rappel out to my climb. So I'm going to anchor myself to this tree using my static line. So I'm going to go ahead and use a bowline around this tree. Another knot we could use is a figure-8 follow-through. It's always really fun tying knots with gloves on. Alright, now that I'm towards the edge of the cliff, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up my gree to one leg of my anchor. So this anchor is going to have 2 legs to it. I just set up one leg to that tree back there, and then I'm going to use this to go towards the edge to locate where I want my master point. So I'm going to rappel down, or just like walk backwards, but you don't want to do this not tethered in. So I'm tethered into my gree here. Alright, so after rappelling down, I realized I might want my anchor about 10 feet this way. So I can use that, kind of gauge where I want my BHK. So BHK is going to be what I use for my master point. Throw some rope down here. What I want is just to have my master point towards the lip of the slab out there, so it's on the vertical terrain. Good. So I'm going to pull this back up. And now with my BHK, go ahead and tie, and that's where I'm going to put my 2 locking carabiners. Okay, so now I have my master point and one leg of the anchor. I'm just feeding half of my rope down. So I'm going to do this all the way to the middle mark of my rope. And before I do this, as I rappel out, I want to make sure no one's below me. There are people that lead here, and not everyone top rope, so you want to be aware of that. So now that I'm at my middle, I'm just going to clip the middle, anywhere. This is just so I don't drop the other end. So I've got my 2 locking carabiners here that I clip the rope through. Now I'm just going to coil the other side. Put it down. start feeding the rope down. It's pretty vertical here, so I don't really have to throw the rope too much. And if there are a lot of people down there, it's nice because then you won't hit them. Now that we're at the middle, both ends are down. Then untie this knot, and that was just to secure it so I didn't drop it. Got my BHK with my 2 locking carabiners. Flip it so the big sides are down. Slide this down. Okay, at this point now I have my second leg. I need to go attach somewhere up here. So now that we have our second leg of the anchor right here, now remember the first leg is on the tree, as you can see way back here. We want to equalize the anchor with the second leg, and that's going to be right here. So there's 2 ways we can do this. The first way is we can make a bowline into this pipe. With this bowline here, I like to tie it through the lowest point in the pipe because it's the least amount of leverage. Okay, so I've got my bowline. Then we always back up the bowline. So now that's one way to back up the anchor with the second strand. One way with doing the bowline here, it's sometimes hard to get the tension right in both strands. So a second way to use the second strand on these pipes is use a cord. So I've got my cord right here, and what I can do, I could probably double this up. I'm gonna go through the bottom right here and then just tie a knot. This is an overhand on a bite. Pass it through there. Now I'm gonna use a locking carabiner. And then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make a clove hitch because I can adjust the tension on the second leg of the anchor. So I'm using a clove hitch, and once that's equal tension as the other leg, what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up this end right here. It's just a barrel knot or a fisherman's. Okay, lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to coil my static rope, and I'm going to leave it right here in a nice coil so it's not all over the place and people don't step on it with their crampons. All right, now we can go enjoy some climbing. All right, what do you think of our climb?
I think it's gonna be perfect. I'm gonna rock it.